What's up, everybody? It's Feral Bunny Productions back with another Heroclix video for you. This one I'm going to jump into gameplay. I do have my baby in the living room, and he is getting restless, so he may interrupt us a few times. I'm just going to apologize in advance. What we're going to do is just some pretty basic stuff. I got Ant-Man and Black Widow here, two characters everybody knows. They don't do a lot of crazy stuff, so I figured it'd be easy to kind of show you exactly how to play with them. It's going to be like a 1 versus 1 battle here. It's just going to kind of show you the sequential order of what you are to do whenever it's your turn versus your opponent's turn. Hopefully this kind of intrigues a couple people and gets people involved again. One of the things that I keep getting asked is, what do I need to start? And the biggest thing is there are starter packs. They come with figures, they come with dice, they come with maps, and they come with this. This tells you what all the powers are, what all the powers do. Kind of folds out like a map, like a road map, you know, an accordion. There's a lot here, and there's also a rule book that's It's pretty big. It's pretty cut and dry. It tells you exactly what you need to do, when to do it, how to do it. There are guys who've been playing this for 15 plus years, and they still have to refer to the rule book because it is ever changing. There is nobody on this planet who knows all the rules. I mean, there's a lot to take in, but that's when you get into like the competitive stuff and get into, you know, just the crazier side of Heroclix. But again, ultimately it's up to your judge if you're playing at a venue or if you're playing at home or whatever. It's up to you guys how you roll things, and then you can kind of refer to the rule book later or ask somebody on Facebook. Somebody will always know the answer to what you're asking. But again, nobody knows all the answers. So we're going to get started here. I'm going to pause here and get this all set up, and then we will continue. Alright, so as you can see, we have our map here. I just have it folded up so it's, you know, kind of small. You can fit on the camera. It's a little better shot of it. There's all kinds of different maps, from Star Trek to Lord of the Rings to, you know, the Avengers Tower, just everything you can think of. The turtle sewers and all kinds of stuff. Rooftops for Spider-Man, you name it. So, what we're going to do is at the beginning of the game, you're obviously not going to be set up like this. There are starting areas on the map. They're marked in purple. You're each going to start your team in those starting areas, okay? For right now, we're going to just simulate that these guys moved up respectively on their turns, and they just happen to be within each other's line of fire and range here. We're going to say Black Widow is first. She has 4 range. She has an 8 movement. She has a 10 attack. She has a 17 defense. And she has a 2 damage with Perplex. Now what Perplex does is it allows you to change any value on your dial or any value on your opponent's dial. So you can take, you know, your attack up by 1 if you want to make it easier to hit. If you want to hit harder, you can make your damage up to a 3 instead of a 2. You can make Ant-Man a little easier to hit by taking him down to a 16 rather than a 17. Make his attack lower so it's harder for him to roll against you. Whatever you want to do, you have 1 point to spend however you want to do that. So what we're going to do is, since she has 4 range, Ant-Man is over here as a sitting target. She's going to take a shot, but what she's going to do is use that Perplex. And she's going to take her 10 and change that into an 11. So she's going to try and hit him. She now has an 11 rather than the 10 that is printed. Oh, losing the camera there. So now that 10 will jump up to an 11 because of that little brown box she has above the 2, or over the 2. That, again, is Perplex. Gives you 1 point to spend on any of your combat values, including range. Ant-Man has a 17 defense, but he is tiny size. That is what this little symbol here does, this little atomic symbol. It means that he's real small, so obviously he's going to be harder to hit, so that gives him a +1 to his defense if you're making a ranged attack. So that will make him an 18, while she has an 11. I have 2 dice to make it happen. I need a 7. I rolled a 5. Right there, I rolled a 5. So she missed. So what happens, her turn is over. Let me move that over there a little bit. Her turn ends. She gets an action token. You can have these custom made. They sell them. They come with Fast Forces packs, which are kind of like the starter sets, but it's a little smaller. Or no, not. I'm sorry. The Dyson token packs. There are Fast Forces sets that are a little smaller than starter sets, but they just come with figures. I don't know why I was saying that. Trying to get that glare off the screen here. Oh, you guys just have to see a little bit of a glare there. Alright, so now we get Ant-Man's turn here. He does not have range. Okay? He has 0 range, but he has an 8 movement, and that pink box means that he has sidestep, which allows him to move for 2 squares for free. So without getting an action token, like she took, he can do that for free. He has 2 squares to do so. He gets to go like that. Okay? So now he has he has a power on that damage there, that little. See if I can get it to focus here. There we go. See the little box over the 3? That is his damage symbol here, the atomic symbol. So that means he's hitting for 3 damage if he hits. So his damage power on his card would be right here next to the atomic tiny size symbol, whatever you want to call it, the atom. He gets free, choose an adjacent friendly character to gain tiny size until your next turn. So he doesn't have any teammates right now, so that's useless. So what's going to happen is he's going to roll his 10 against her 17. But her 17 has that lime green box around it, if I can get this to focus in now. Maybe. Oh, you can kind of see. You can kind of see it there. It's lime green. You take my word for it. What that does is it is called combat reflexes, and it grants a +2 bonus to your defense if somebody is adjacent to you, which is right next to you. Any of these squares next to her, she would get a +2 to her defense if you're doing an attack being locked up with her. So that would make him have to roll a 10 against a 19 now, rather than the 17 that is on her dial. So you have 2 dice to make it happen. So he rolled an 8. There's a 6 and a 2. So he missed by 1. So he now would get an action token. His turn is over. So now, Black Widow's turn. She does not have willpower. So, if I wanted to give her an action, she would take 1 click of damage to be able to do anything involving an attack, anything involving moving, just basically anything that takes an action token, she would take a push for. She would take 1 click, she would hurt herself, but she has a chance to hit him as well, so sometimes it is worth it. But she has that perplex there, so what she's going to do is she's going to use the perplex to make her defense now an 18, so from close attacks, it will now be a 20. So she's going to do that, and then she's going to pull this action token, and that is the end of her turn. She doesn't take any damage. She's protected by her defense now. She's set. She's ready to go. So now Ant-Man, he's going to live a little dangerously. He is going to push. He's going to try and hit. He needs a 10 now rather than a 9 because she perplexed up her defense and she has the combat reflexes. So she goes up by 3 clicks because of that perplex and that power. So now he's going to roll a 10 on a 20. If he misses, she takes no damage. He takes 1 click because he does not have willpower, and he's doing this just to hope for the best here. So we've got 2 dice to do it. So he rolled a 6. A 3 and a 3. Not sure. There we go. 3 and a 3. So he missed. So what happens there is she's safe. He takes his 1 click. So you turn it to click number 2. He gets a second action token. And now it is Black Widow's turn. So she has the 10 attack with the 2 damage, and she has that perplex again. Now he has 2 tokens. He cannot be given any more. So she doesn't need to worry about bumping up her defense again because he can't attack because he has 2 tokens. On his next turn, he can't do anything. So she's going to bump up her attack to an 11. She's going to roll an 11 on a 17 here. She has 2 dice to do so. She just critical missed. I can't make this stuff up. Even in tutorial videos, I can't roll to save my life. This is just how it always goes for me. So what happens if you roll double 1s? You get to take a click of damage. There's no getting out of it unless you can probability control, which lets you reroll dice, which nobody has right now. So she takes that click. She missed completely. She now takes a token. Her turn is over. Comes to Ant-Man. He can't do anything. He has no free actions. All he can do, if he wants to, he can try and sidestep breakaway. He would get it, but there's no point to him doing so because she has range and she can get to him anyway. So he's just going to pull, and it's going to come back to Black Widow's turn. So now she is going to do the exact same thing she just tried to do. She's going to bump up her attack to an 11. She's going to roll on this 17. She's going to hope for the best here. Just for timing purposes, we're going to re-roll that. Okay, so what happens here? She does hit. She rolled a 9. Because I'll be here all day trying to hit. You guys don't understand how often I miss. So she does 2 damage, but he has this little red box over his defense, which is super senses. It's kind of like spider senses. You can get out of the attack because you can see it coming. So if I roll a 5 or a 6 with 1 die, then he doesn't take any damage. So I rolled a 4. So he will take 2 clicks of damage because that is what she does on her dial. 1, 2. Okay, so now his stats all changed. Let me, there we go. So he has a 7 movement with stealth, which means if he is hiding in a bush or something, you can't see him for range attacks. He has a 9 attack, which is going to make it harder for him to hit. He then has a 16 defense, but he has that lime green that we talked about with Black Widow, where it'll give him a +2 to close attacks. And then he has that purple box for 2 damage. The purple box is close combat expert. So just like the perplex, he will be able to spend points to bump up his stats. However, this gives him 2 points that he can spend between either his attack or damage or both. But he has 2 points to do so. So he can go 10 and a 3. He can do 11 and keep it at 2 damage. He can stay at a 9 attack and go to 4 damage. Whatever he wants to do, he has 2 points to do so. So her turn ends. she takes a token. She does not have the willpower, so she takes a click for doing all that. But it was worth it because she did 2 clicks of damage to him. She took 1 herself. Now we got Ant-Man here with the close combat expert. He's going to spend 1 point into his attack. He'll put both into his attack, actually. So he'll bump up to an 11. He'll stay at 2 damage. So we're going to do the 11 attack. She has a 16 with that lime green, making it now an 18. So we need a 7. So we got a 7. That is for 2 clicks of damage. So she will take 1. That is enough to kill her. She comes off the board. You can see that she is 35 points. So Ant-Man's team would score the 35 points. Time would run out. Black Widow's, the rest of Black Widow's team's hiding in the back over there. They don't have any time to get to Ant-Man. They didn't score any points. Ant-Man wins by 35 points. These are the last 2 pieces on the map. The rest of the teams are dead. Goes down that way. Black Widow dies. Even if she has more points, he's the last man standing. He wins. It's basically last man standing or by points if there's still pieces on the map on both teams. It's like I said, turn-based. It wasn't super difficult to get through these dials, to get through these cards. Nobody really does anything super crazy. He did have shape change and stuff, but I figured I just grabbed 2 pieces to kind of make it a slugfest. I didn't want to go too far into powers. I just wanted to show you the turn bases and everything, or the turn orders. Trying to get back into the camera here. Alright, there we go, we're good. Okay, so like I said, I was just trying to do the slugfest there to show you just how to take your turn. Show you that there's powers you can use that are free, there are powers you have to use for a token, there are powers that grant you bonuses, powers that hurt you, powers that benefit teammates, like Ant-Man granting his teammates the tiny size. There's all kinds of stuff that you can have just a crazy team with. Like I said, though, this will be your best friend. It will tell you exactly what everything does, all the powers. Even back here, it'll tell you like the different sizes, like giant size and tiny size, and willpower and everything. Tells you exactly what all the symbols mean. Tells you exactly, how to just use things to your benefit. Again, this is Feral Bunny Productions. I really hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I'm going to keep making them, whether you like it or not, because it's kind of therapeutic to me. So I hope that this is getting people interested. I hope that you can maybe watch these videos and see a character that you're just crazy about. Like if you're a super diehard Ant-Man fan, you see that there's Ant-Man, Heroclix, maybe that'll get you involved. There, again, are giant pieces like Dormammu here. We're going to do a size comparison with Dormammu and Ant-Man here. And then I have stuff like Groot, who's a little bit smaller, but he's still big. He's still huge compared to Ant-Man there. And there's pieces even bigger than this Dormammu. There's all kinds of stuff. It's fun for everybody. I literally played with like 10-year-old, like 1 or 2 little kids, like 10-year-olds, and I've played with people who are like in their 60s, and that's no exaggeration, and everywhere in between. There's no age limit to this game. People play just their entire lives. I mean, there's people who have literally been playing this for like 15 years, and have no signs of stopping. Like I said, though, the best thing to do is just get a starter set, read up on the rules, kind of, Google it if you have to. Google the rules. You don't have to go spend the money if you don't want to yet. You can just keep watching the tutorial videos. There are other tutorial videos that I'm sure are a lot better that have more production value and don't have this glare over here that's coming in from my window and messing up my camera. They also probably don't have a 80-pound bulldog in the background snoring that I'm sure you guys can hear. And they'll have like nice little pretty graphics on the screen and all kinds of sponsorships. And this is one guy with a cell phone and way too much free time. So look up other Heroclix stuff and be sure to check this game out. I'm always available to teach. I'm always available to play. By all means, just message me, guys, and take it easy.